All right, hey guys, welcome to week 3 of our challenge. It's only been 2 weeks so far, and you probably aren't seeing many results, which is completely expected on our end and on yours as well. That first week, all we did was track our food that we were currently eating. Didn't really have a big opportunity to lose weight that week because we were asking you to stay the same. We wanted to see where you were at, so you could understand where you're at, so you could better make some adjustments. And so we could have some information to use later on when we get near our one-to-one towards the end of this 6 weeks. And then the second week, all we asked you to do was meal prep. Just getting familiar with the kitchen, learning how to cook a few things that might help you kind of build as we go through these next 4 weeks. In that instance, you probably didn't lose much weight, or maybe you haven't even tracked it, which is fine. That's kind of what I prefer, is you not worrying about that right now. Our main goal is to try to help you instill some habits that you can use on a regular basis that are easy, repeatable, that will ultimately drive success if you can continue to do these over time. Those first 2 weeks, kind of just getting a feel for some things. We're now going to build on that, the skills that we developed in those first 2 weeks in terms of tracking our food and meal prepping. What we want to do this week, what we want to focus on this week, is hitting a specific protein target goal. So each of you will receive an email that has a range of protein that you should try to be hitting. It could be anywhere from 175 to 200 grams of protein, depending on who you are. But trying to fall within that range is going to be your goal for the next week. So how we're going to do that is we're going to take, and this is what I recommend you do, is once you get that range, look back on that food log, make an estimate on how many meals are you eating per day. So if you're eating 3 meals per day and you have 150 grams of protein target goal, then we want to try to get 50 grams in each meal. It's really as simple as that. Now, how do we implement that into our lives? How do we, have the food ready so that it's not a challenge for us to get there? Those are all things that will be the challenge, but knowing the number that you need to hit is not the challenge. It's implementing that into your life. In the email, you're also going to get a list of proteins, proteins that are 20 grams and above. And I want you to just play around with those. Try to find ways to get the amount of protein you need in each meal, and just continue to build on that. So really, any source of protein that you can find is going to work. So right now, if you're using, protein powder, you're supplementing with a protein bar, any of those things that help you. My go-tos are typically ground beef, chicken, steak, all of those things that are higher in protein. Those are the things that I'm going to. Eggs, Greek yogurts, things like that. That is what I'm using throughout my day to hit that target protein goal. So that will be your kind of challenge this week, is can we hit that target for the next 6 to 7 days, right? So thinking about trying to continue to hit that today, but really starting tomorrow, how do you lay that out so that you can be successful for the next 6-7 days? Because once we have that protein number locked in, then all we're going to do is fill in behind it. So we're going to fill in those other foods afterwards. So right now, I wouldn't even necessarily worry about the other foods that you're eating, okay? Just focus on, how do I get this protein number in? And as with every week that we've had so far, when you have questions, please reach out. We are just a text, email, phone call away. If you're confused about something, you don't know how to hit the target, or you need a recommendation for, hey, I don't have much time in the morning. We've made a few recommendations for some meal replacement shakes for some different people. So if you have questions, you have concerns, you have challenges hitting those numbers, please reach out to us. This is the week that we're going to really dial that in, and we really want to have this habit instilled in us, so that when we go to this next week 4, this is where we're going to start to see possibly some of the weight fall off, some of the fat mass fall off over these next 4 weeks. So this is really, if you can lock this part in, this is going to help you really set yourself up for success going forward. So a couple things too, when you're looking at your foods, a lot of the stuff that you're probably eating, the shakes, some of the chicken, some of that stuff may have nutrition facts on there. If you're buying meat, from a butcher shop, or you're just getting it at your local grocery store, A lot of times they're not listing the nutrition content on those packages, right? So you need to possibly look those up. So MyFitnessPal is what I use. You can get all of your protein numbers there. But if you need a quick reference, if you have something, and specifically like meat, so if you're cooking ground beef, you're cooking a burger, a steak, pork chop, chicken, all of those things, you can find it in MyFitnessPal, or you can find those numbers. But if you can't find those numbers, you're confused, or you don't have an ability to weigh it, I do recommend that you use an estimate for those things. So how I typically go about that, especially like if I'm in a restaurant or I'm away from home, I don't have a food scale with me. The easiest way is to use your hand, and this is kind of how we can estimate our protein numbers if we don't have access to a scale or we don't have those convenient nutrition facts on there. So if you just take your hand and you just think about this palm shape here, this is about 1 serving of protein. If you just look at it about that size and about that thickness, that's going to be 1 serving of protein for you. Everybody's hands are a little bit different in size, so we're just roughly estimating, but I would say every hand here, go ahead and equate that to about 20 to 25 grams of protein. Okay, so if I need to get 50 grams of protein, I'm probably going to look for 2 servings of meat that are about this size. That's me personally. Or maybe I do 1 serving of meat here and have some other protein source paired with that, maybe eggs, a Greek yogurt, whatever that is. But if you need to estimate, this is the easiest way to do it. If you have a food scale, then you're thinking, that 3 to 4 ounce mark is typically about 20 to 25 grams of protein when you're looking at most animal source meats. And that's the one you're really gonna have the most trouble with in terms of tracking. Some of the other stuff has the nutrition facts, so it won't be that big of a deal. So that's it for today. Really focusing on those protein goals. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. You have some other things in the email that are going to help you with this process, but right now let's get this dialed in. Let's find ways to secure the amount of protein that we need. And again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to myself or Carly. We can walk you through this process individually with any questions or concerns that you might have. Let's go attack week 3, guys. Awesome.